Hey guys, what's good? What's popping? I am Tiffany. This is Love With You. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and joining the Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome to what? Welcome to Okay, so today I'm gonna basically be talking more about gender-based violence and the whole patriarchy and masculinity. It's been really heavy on my heart recently, and I really thought I would have a video. Let's get into it. Okay. Anyways, so to me, when I think about what gender-based violence, I just think of men basically taking advantage of the vulnerability of women in all aspects. So that can be physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and usually it all starts emotionally and psychologically, and then obviously therefore elevates, you know what I'm saying? And I think all of these usually just like stem from your patriarchy, from your masculinity, because men have a certain ego, and there's a certain superiority complex which they're trying to maintain. So therefore, in order to ensure that they feel like they are in control, that they are men, they therefore exert their power, and they exert their power and their control onto women through violence, through emotional abuse, you know, and just to make them feel like, okay, basically like I'm in control, I am the man. And it is sad that families, society, the church is breeding grounds for patriarchy and masculinity, as they promote a certain perception of how men should be in relationships, how men, and therefore you get young boys, and you get, you know, that are therefore raised in these ideologies, in these perceptions which are problematic, you know what I'm saying? And honestly and truly, it all should be starting, well, it all starts in the homes, and that's where these things should be dealt with. Like, I had a video recently, a live on Instagram, and more we just realize that such perceptions, such ideologies are formulated in the house by the smallest things, like your gender roles in the household, where boys do the work in the yard and girls have to do the work in the kitchen and in the house. And therefore that sets a certain mindset where women are not strong enough to do certain things, and only men, and which therefore creates the superiority complex, which is problematic. And therefore obviously these roles are somehow strengthened, or no, these perceptions are strengthened by obviously the males, like the head of the houses, which basically ensures that it is, you know, promoted, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, which is really problematic. So whereas you get certain fathers that ensure that the sons understand that, listen, you are more superior, you are more stronger, and women have to submit under you, and which therefore sets the mindset of, even like as young as you are already, you have been conditioned to believe that, no, listen, I was made to dominate women. I was made to rule and control women, and that is problematic because these all these perceptions and ideologies are basically formulated and they are strengthened like in the household. And then obviously we move to places such as media, we move to church. So I was listening to another interview and I realized that, as much as churches are places where women should feel they are safe and feel like it is a safe place, basically, to come to in the midst of such situations. But unfortunately, the churches are therefore don't even help them. Instead, the churches make them feel as if it is their fault. There is this whole thing about begazela. You have to really persevere through it, because obviously, when we think of marriage in a spiritual perspective, it is the whole thing of marriage is sacred. We need to work on marriage unless obviously the person cheats on you. So therefore, the whole thing is, no, you need to stay within your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Instead of creating certain support systems and guidelines of how to work your way out of it, into a whole healing process, they therefore add more or less another barrier, which is problematic, you know. And also another thing that church does is, as much as it should be a safe place, you are being questioned as a woman, or ridiculed by people in leadership, maybe perhaps on how you dress, on how you look. And therefore there are certain comments that are also made that, no, the such things are the reasons why things like that happen, which is problematic. And also, certain things are also slid under the rug in churches. So like leadership, people in leadership, if they commit certain crimes such as your GBV crimes, they are dealt with secretly, or they're not dealt with at all. And instead they hide either behind the Bible, or they just don't deal with it because of also the fear of the image of the church being tainted, which is problematic. Because now, what are we saying about the church? What are we saying about God? What are we saying about a safe place that should be like a safe place? Like, what are we saying about it? You know what I'm saying? Which raises up various questions, especially when you're not a believer, because then you start questioning, actually, is being a Christian all that it really is? Or, you start questioning leadership, you start questioning, because it is not a place that is made, that makes you feel like you can actually go to when you need help. And also you get, like, for example, like with, like in media perhaps, where they are just promoting that women are objects. So boys and men are raised to believe that no, women are objects, and they are objects to lust over. And so basically, I think how we need to deal with such things is really somehow raising our sons to respect women, to see women as equals, to so that women are not seen as less than, because then these things and all these perceptions obviously then transpire into certain actions that lead to your rape, to your catcalling, to your coercion, to etc etc, which is problematic. So I really pray and I really hope that fathers, churches, the media educates young boys, men, about how to treat women and how not to treat women, but also create certain safe places for women as well, you know. And women should also realize it is not their fault. It is not your fault. It is men. To some extent, you realize that men are actually really trash, and that's just it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, join the notification gang, and yes.